This car is what these fast blasts are all about. I can't believe I'm getting to drive this. This is a 1987 BMW M6. This is not a common car. Less than 2,000 of these made it to North America.
I had the tester's model of this car that I put together. I painted red. I mean, down to the interior. I built this car with my bare hands in 1/18th scale. Never driven one until right now. It's like when you read People magazine or some celebrity rag. You kind of feel like you know that celebrity. You've read all about them, but you've never met them. That's what the M6 is.
Mark, the owner of this car, has owned an E24 for decades. He's only had this M6 a short time, and this was the car he really wanted, and I can see why.
This car has just over 101,000 miles on it. And you know what? It still feels fresh. And of course, it's so eye-catching. I mean, this car is a standout in styling.
I love the look of this 6 Series. I've never liked any BMW as much as this styling. I can't even explain to you why, but this is the one I've always liked. It's like Christy Brinkley. I mean, she was hot in the 80s. How is it possible she's still hot now? That's what this car is. I would never go white interior, but this one has actually held up really well. I mean, this interior is old school 80s BMW. I mean, I forgot about these checkerboard vents until you get in this car and you go, oh yeah, that was every BMW in the 80s.
Look at these push buttons. They're so chunky, and there's only one function per giant push button. That's brilliant.
Good seats, but not great. One of the surprising things is that you're very vertical in your seating position. I mean, the intention of this with this big greenhouse is that you're sitting very upright.
I'm floored by the visibility. It's like sitting in a goldfish bowl. This car has so much visibility all the way around.
The gear stick is so light it feels connected to nothing. It just kind of wobbles and throws around. That's real simple. Now it's easy to find the gears, but there's not really any tension sensation of it's got a notch and it goes here. It's just kind of, sure, whatever, I'll go to that gear.
I mean, look at how much play is in this shift lever. Look at this. Look at the play in the shift lever as you're driving. Who cares? It's not a track car. It's just not. It never was intended to be. And you know, 253 horsepower doesn't really sound like a lot these days, but this car isn't slow. Fast speeds are so effortless with this car.
This inline 6 just tells you why BMW is known for this engine. It's so linear in its power delivery. I mean, the higher the RPMs are, the happier it gets, the more power it gives you. But this is not an overly quick car. I mean, 0 to 60 in the mid-6s is not lightning fast. The higher you get it in the rev range, the more satisfying it is. I'm running along at 5,000 RPMs. It's just glorious at that.
The car isn't breaking a sweat at all, and it doesn't seem to be like it's working hard. It's just so strong, so fluid.
This feels fun. It does not feel fast or agile by modern standards. Even though it's an M and it's held up really well, the gearbox feels old. It's got a lot of play in it. The clutch, of course, is stiff. I mean, you can sense the 30-year-old technology in both of those things.
Okay, so how does it steer? How does it feel through these corners? Well, a lot of play on the steering wheel, but like many things about this car, it's all forgiven because this is just really all about the pleasure of motoring. And it sounds kind of goofy maybe, but it really is.
You can really feel in the wheel, you can feel nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, there it catches. That's really strange in comparison to modern steering racks.
BMW has, of course, grown by leaps and bounds in the handling department, but this is what it was like.
Yeah, not confidence-inspiring in hard steering. Does it? Not thrilled about it. There's lean and there's tension in the steering rack. I don't feel like I want to push this car really hard.
I'm thrilled with the M6. That's it. I've met the celebrity that the M6 is.
The linear feel of the engine is spectacular. That's just, I mean, it's everything you want in a naturally aspirated engine. And there is some information here from the tires, from the steering rack, but when you push hard, you really carve it into a corner, it doesn't feel all that confidence-inspiring.
If I had one of these cars, I'd try to drive it all the time. They need to be driven. They deserve to be driven.
I mean, a huge thanks to Mark for letting us drive it. It is a lot of fun to drive. It's a real experience, but it's not a great driver's car. It's fun, it does it, but it feels more classic than it feels agile.